you are such an acclaimed and established, would you say drama, thriller?
I think that I fell into a bucket. I got into this true crime.
Yes.
The first thing I created, I'd done a lot of stuff before, but the first thing I created was Dr. Death.
Yeah.
And then that led to Girl from Plainville, and that led to more Dr. Death, and that led to Devil in Disguise. And I have currently like 3 or 4 true crime stuff that's
just how the TV industry really works, right?
Yeah.
It really does want to put you in boxes.
Yeah.
You are now proven in this thing. So we want you to do it more.
Which I sort of I wrangle my way out of it. I'm so grateful. Like I can't begin. It sounds false, but it's sincere. I'm so grateful for everything that I have. And I'm so grateful for all the experiences that I've had. But if anybody had said to me at the beginning of my writing career back in 2004, you're going to do true crime stories and you'll be known for those, I wouldn't have ever agreed to that. Because I've written over the course of my career, I've written 51 or 52 pilots, and obviously they have not been made, but never in that realm. Like I've written across a ton of genres, and I never thought that I would do true crime.
When I was doing some prep for this, your most recent show, which was you created and showran Devil in Disguise, John Wayne Gacy for Peacock. In doing some prep for this, you apparently turned that down twice.
Yeah.
Was part of that because you're like, I don't want another true crime thing? Was it that I didn't want the darkness? Or was it more, this story has been told, I don't know a new way in?
It was the last one.
Okay.
It was,
because by the way, you found a new fucking way in. That show is a masterpiece.
I appreciate that.
Oh my God.
I so appreciate
Incredible.
that.
Michael Chernus as...
He's ridiculous.
Who's better than him?
He's ridiculous.
Nobody.
And as a human being, he's just oh God, I
hear the greatest things.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
He's awesome. I turned it down because
was this coming off of Plainville?
It was coming off of a time off, actually.
Okay.
It was the first time off that I had taken in 12 or 13 years because I had fallen into this space. It's a much longer story how I got to where I got to, but like I'd fallen into this very comfortable, very happy space of me thinking that I was never going to create a TV show. And I had become a showrunner. Yep. And I was really, really happy. I mean that. Like I always say that the greatest job in Hollywood is the number 2.
1000%. I don't want to speak out of school here and mention a few people I'm thinking of, but I've had that exact conversation with people we will talk about off camera. It's like, yes.
Yeah.
But then they're like, actually, buddy, we're calling you up to the majors.
And that's all I had ever wanted. Like when I started in 2004, all I wanted was to have my shows.
But then are you like, careful what you wish for? It is an impossible fucking job, especially being married, having children, having like some semblance of a life.
I don't have a life. The only thing that I do is write.
Yes.
And run shows. And the running shows gets in the way of the writing oftentimes, which is counterintuitive.
Yes.
I never thought at a certain point that I was going to create my own show. When I'd done multiple seasons of not just my shows, but other people's shows, at that exact point in time, my wife, Yoli, who went to GW, she was getting a master's in urban planning and at UCLA. And the second year we knew was going to be in Paris. And this is going to come back to John Wayne Gacy in a second. And by complete happenstance, it was the first year since 2011 that I didn't have to be on set for and I got to spend 365 days with my family. I had never done that since my eldest, who's 15, was in utero.
Wow.
Right? So... And
not just away.
Gone.
In other countries,
In other countries. Point being that when they sent me Gacy, I was living in Paris. That her second year was in Paris. Okay. And it was the greatest year of my life. And we'll talk...
I can't imagine.
Oh, dude. Brah. Brah. Listen.
I'm going to cry thinking about this. Go on.
Little segue. Like I will say that you talked about being an extroverted introvert. That's how I describe myself. We went to Paris. I don't speak French. I don't understand French. I took classes, so I wasn't a complete moron, but I could never speak French, right? And we put our kids in the American school, which was basically an hour drive away.
Oh, wow.
And an hour back, right? Okay. My wife was in hell at this master's program.
Underground.
Right?
So
underground. So I was alone.
Yes. You are single parenting.
But it was like I dropped my kids off at the bus stop at 6:30 a.m. and they came back at 6:30 p.m. every day My wife was gone.
Oh my God.
I had told Hollywood that I would give them an hour to 2 hours a night because they were asleep when I was awake and awake when I was asleep.
Right.
And so I was alone and I would go off and write for like 6 hours a day and then eat alone, drink alone, which, yes, that included wine.
Yes.
At lunch.
Yes. As it should.
Yes. And museums. Listen, and I just explored.
You're in Paris.
I know. Oh. And so.
What a unique opportunity to get as an adult, as you have enough money. So you're not like, how this baguette last me through the day. So to have that as a full-fledged adult who's taking the time to have the family and also they're busy.
It was crazy. And it was monastic. And then we came back to LA.
Yes.
And when I tell you this, like, I'm a pretty even-keeled person. I always have a saying with writers and directors and cast and HODs.
Heads of department.
Sorry. Heads of department. That in order for us to work together, you're going to have to fly at altitude with me. I always say flying at altitude, and that you're going to hit turbulence, but you never celebrate the wins too much and you never mourn the losses. And that's a learned behavior based off of being abused by Hollywood for a lot of years, right?
Correct.
And so when I got back to LA, suddenly everyone wanted something.
Yep.
And I started to get panic attacks. I'd never had them before.
Because you had this really wonderful, safe, monastic existence.
There was like the noise of Paris or the noise, like it was just white noise.
Yes, totally. It was like the machine they put on babies' rooms that they didn't have when we had babies, but yes. Oh my God.
Yeah,
I can only imagine. Okay.
I got over it, but it took me a few weeks, but it was like really uncomfortable coming back.
Oh, I bet.
You asked me a question. So Gacy, they sent it to me. This is what I do. I get onto tangents.
No, I love it so much.
It's a general, right?
Yeah.
So they sent me Gacy, and I just said I don't want to do it. And I was working on this show Vanderbilt with Anderson Cooper at the time, and I had a couple of other shows that I was developing and I just said there's no reason to do this show. Yeah. Dahmer had just come out and was a huge success.
Yes.
I'm like, we're just going to be the also ran.
Yeah.
And they just kept coming and coming. And I've been under a deal at Universal for 11 years. Yeah. And so I love these people. I've known them for a really long time.
Yes.
So they finally came to me. I was like, okay, but I'm going to do it this other way. And they got behind it and it worked, which is to focus on the victims.
I was just going to say, we should set the scene. And anyone who hasn't watched this incredible show is on Peacock. It's astonishing because I hadn't seen a show in this ilk, I guess I would say, a serial killer, but it's not a biopic. It is, and except for the first episode, I think, every episode is named after a victim or multiple victims' names. It is the story much more of the victims. Michael Chernus's performance as John Wayne Gacy is unparalleled. Like I sort of have chills like thinking about it and talking about it. You can see, but to figure out a new way in that was so compelling. I mean, Marin Ireland in your show, get out of here. Get out of here.
She had the hardest job of the entire show.
As I'll say, and as a mom, oh boy.
She had the hardest job.
Oh boy.
She was in mourning the entire show. Yeah. And there's one moment in episode 6 in which you see the moment prior to her son disappearing. And she comes in to say, get in the car. We have to go. And it's the first time in the entire show that you see her light and airy. And
the before time.
Oh, I mean, look, it's
I know, doing it right now. I know. I could get choked up thinking about it. And because
she's amazing.
Incredible. And no, your whole cast.
The whole cast is amazing.
The whole show is amazing.
It was a swing, and I think that I think
it really worked.
It worked critically. I still think that the jury's still out as to whether or not people want that kind of show. Like
That's interesting.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was not poorly received by the public.
No, not at all.
But it wasn't Dahmer I don't think it just has to do with the platform.
Okay. Because obviously I was about to say that, but okay.
I don't. I think that as I'm developing season 2 right now, I'm learning some lessons, and I said at the beginning, I said from the very beginning, and I've said it in multiple interviews that it was a sociological experiment, that as to whether or not people really wanted this, and I think that the answer is some yes, some no.
Right.
But I am putting in a little bit more of what people want in season 2.
Was it disappointing to sort of feel that in terms of humanity and what people want? Yeah.
Very much so.
That's a word that my therapist brings up a lot, that I now, all of my sort of closest circle will call each other and be like, so-and-so did this. It's disappointing. Like, it's like you can take the judgment out. This is not, it's not personal to you.
Never.
And at the same time, what a fucking bummer.
But it also is super interesting. I've made it a habit over my career to not read reviews. I go out of my way not to read reviews.
Very smart.
And one of my favorite stories about not reading reviews was we were in South by for the premiere of a panel of Girl from Plainville. And so it was myself and Elle Fanning and Chloe and like all the, like everybody was on this, flew down together, had a great time, had the premiere, and the embargo to releasing the reviews dropped as we were in the panel.
Oh my God.
And I refused to read reviews. Right? So we're in the shuttle van to take us all back to the airport.
And we should say, I'm just going to interrupt one sec. An embargo is when the press and reviewers are often sent the movie or the show ahead of time so they can have their review ready to go when the embargo is lifted, essentially. It sounds so like political and scary. And it's just like, this is embargoed until blah, blah, blah.
Exactly.
So you are in the midst of a panel.
So we're in the midst of a panel, the embargo lifts.
God, the publicists are looking, what is it? Yeah, totally.
Everyone, Elle, her manager is a dear friend of mine, Brittany.
Oh, yeah. Brittany Conward, she's so great.
I adore her.
Yeah, she's great.
They know not to talk to me. Like, don't tell, I don't want to know anything. You do you. I just don't want to know anything.
Correct.
So the way that I knew that we got good reviews was we were on the plane and we basically took up an entire section and they were all asleep. And I was like, oh, we're okay. Yeah.